Hello. Ooh, haven't played Disco Elysium since Sunday, so it was 4 days ago for me. I was busy. So yeah. I don't expect today to be a very big revelations episode because we had that in the last one, and in this one I want to prioritize getting just some extra information and waiting for day 5 to start so I can send Kim to morgue with the corpse. Yeah, so last time we were talking about Ruby, right? And I had 4 days to think about this, and now I'm starting to really doubt Klaasje. I already was suspicious of her. My main argument was that I think footprints didn't match footprints in the warehouse here, in the workshop I mean. They didn't match footprints of 8 Hardy Boy, which is Ruby, and let's see them again.
You clearly see footprints.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here.
Large prints, most likely made by boots. This print is unlike one left by a regular worker boot. It is not a brand. Shoe size is 41 to 42, maybe 43.
Yeah, this print doesn't look like the old sold print we found at the hanging.
This is, unfortunately, the worst.
And to me this means that, I think I already said that in the last episode, that Ruby either she changed her clothes, shoes for this skirmish to kill the guy, or she wasn't the one who did it. And it's not a fact that mercenary was killed from here. Maybe he was sniped from afar, and maybe Ruby was only using peephole to to be a creep and watch over Klaasje when she's sleeping, when she's showering, whatever.
The size looks about the same, actually. They're not the same shoe, but they could be the same person.
Okay, they could be. And we still haven't met the sniper mercenary from Wild Pines. From Orani's mercenary company.
Everything around.
So yeah, I'm not sure if I trust Klaasje that much. Maybe she fooled us. I think she was withholding this critical information for too long. She did that until she was threatened to be arrested. So it was kind of weird how she just blurted out this incriminating information about Ruby in the last moment. So, can I ask you something?
Officer, what brings you up here in the lies?
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety.
Let's talk about you and Ruby again.
She nods, then nervously pulls on her cigarette.
You said there was a secret route there. She could have come up through there, then taken the shot.
Too
right
dark
here,
outside,
where I
so she
stand.
didn't see her,
It
huh?
was too dark.
Interesting theory. Did she...
Yes. She's been up here many times. She used to come to drink on the roof when...
The peephole.
What is it?
The peephole. My bed is right next to...
You mean to suggest...
No. No. Okay.
I guess I should go back to you
She slowly
after I saw your passport. Yeah, I remember where that passport would be because I was just editing that episode yesterday. So in 2 episodes ago I was exploring the fishing village, and there I saw a weird buoy. How you pronounce this? buoy. Buoy. Yeah, and it didn't have anything to do with, but Inland Empire was like, strange. So it was hinting at something that I couldn't use before knowing this, but now I can. So let's go and visit it. What is that? Money, money. Yeah, good opportunity to search up the fishing village again, since my perception is much better now, so I can see new things. Like this. Footprints in the snow, they lead away from the accident. Seems the walker was either very confused or drunk out of his mind. What are these doing in the fish? Franco-Nigerian cavalry boots. +1 perception. Alright. Maybe I should use them instead of my shoes, that I have no idea if they even give me something. Not bad. Good old calf-length cavalry boots. What the hell? Okay. Don't know what was that about. Mount that horse and ride into the night. The hill comes in handy too. It definitely makes you some good 5 centimeters taller, but could it be that it's also making you sharper, more perceptive to your surroundings, now that you have gained a new perspective? Wait. I never saw this ship. What the hell? Is that Joyce? The pranks creak beneath your weight.
I'll just keep the cord Elysium in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier.
She winds the mooring line around a post.
Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty?
Something about the way she says it makes you want to sing.
Jetty.
Oh, jetty, oh, jetty. It's good to see you here, detectives. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Have you been spying on us? So, how do you like it around here?
How do I like it?
She casts her gaze towards the village, slush melting on the cinder blocks, construction work left half finished 10 years ago.
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name, all the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there?
She squints her eyes.
I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
All right. Politics time. Let's react. Real men, real politics, real thoughts in your head.
You are right to be scared. This is all your fault. You are in no danger. The working class have no idea what is happening to them. Try not to be scared. This is just how the real city looks. The place is doomed either way. Say nothing. I wouldn't say it's doomed. It has potential to be recovered somehow. I wouldn't call this a city. Say nothing.
She could easily just...
She leans against the railing, looking up at the grey sky.
You detect a note of longing in her voice. It's early spring, and the rains are coming. An officer enters a low hut of stone and wood. Inside, weapons are piled against the walls. Rifles with splintering stocks, and swords, tens, if not hundreds. They're antiques, says Lieutenant John, the archetype McCoy, to his partner. They're digging them up from the catacombs now, fixing them. Old caches from the revolution. The children carry them up. Come May, the streets will be flooded. Outside, the wind rattles the loose hatches, flooded with cheap weapons in angry hands.
Have I told you how they discovered this place?
The wind picks up. Her raincoat flaps in the gusts. This fishing village? This island? This Isola?
Yes, in Cielinde.
No, you haven't told me how they found it.
Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty.
Oblivion, that is so me. 45% is around where I operate. Things are getting better, whoa. Say nothing.
It's a pity. Most of these people will never know what this place means, this island of matter, or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
Tell me now, we have time. Tell me something else then. Well, it was good running into you. Do I have time for this? I think I do.
Do we?
He glances at his watch. It doesn't look like he does.
I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism. I would not want to delay you.
This story she will tell only before she leaves Martinez, at the very end of her stay.
Maybe there is something else I can assist you with, while you're hot in pursuit?
Nothing. There's nothing, I think.
Oh? Of course, Detective. You can always drop by later.
Bye.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down. Simmer down, bastards.
Why does she care about the waves so much?
What is it with you and those waves?
What is it with waves and fishermen? We need to be out there with them, fishing, making a living. So I asked them to accommodate me. But until that happens, I can try to assist you the best I can. So, what will it be, officer?
Inside you hear the cozy sound of some kind of heater sputtering. Or sputtering, rather. Oh yeah, drunkards. Can I give you this booze?
Tequila sunset.
Have you seen a red-haired woman named Ruby around here lately? Oh, yeah. If she is that lorry driver, which she probably is, then she could have dyed her hair again. She was blonde at first, I think. I don't remember actually. What Tommy said? I think she was blonde and then violet. And now she's red, but maybe not anymore.
Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my keys.
He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
I brought you some booze. Will you tell me about your name now? Maybe I shouldn't do this when Kim with me actually. I can do that tomorrow. Yeah, Kim probably will nag me that we are in pursuit. You shouldn't waste your time talking to drunk people. A little black swallow circles above you. You hear it chirp. Yeah, I see it. Cool. Wait, it's that guy, the Sunday friend. Actually need to talk to him because I need to start my moralist quest. Who knows how long it will be. What is that? +1 savoir faire and visual calculus. Oversized superstar sunglasses. Is it your own stardom too dazzling for your eyes? Can't bear to look at your own fabulous reflection in the mirror? Then these classic oversized sunglasses are for you.
A scattering of bullet holes is spread across the cracked wall, reaching from one corner to the other.
Look, Kim, even more bullet holes. Something's definitely gone down here.
Correct. The density of the bullet holes is unusual. Even in a general average bullet hole frequency in Martinez sense. Grim affairs. Meaning, this is a lot of bullet holes. Looks like fully automatic rifle fire. Something you don't see these days.
Say nothing, just nod.
The lieutenant also nods. It is quite a scene. The two of you standing next to the broken wall of an abandoned building, nodding along. Two officers of the law against the world, nodding in unison. It is your source of power. The bond of camaraderie between you is palpable.
Not even more.
The lieutenant is nodding so hard it looks like his head is about to snap off his neck.
Don't stop nodding.
The lieutenant matches your nodding pace. He's a true professional at this.
Keep nodding, goddammit, stay the course.
A small bead of sweat runs down the side of the lieutenant's face as he maintains his nodding.
Just one more nod.
As the lieutenant takes out her handkerchief and softly taps the sweat off his temple, a faint crack echoes through the coast.
Fuck me.
Your neck couldn't withstand all this effort. It's too much.
Oh shit, fuck hell.
Busted the neck, did you? Glad I stopped when I did. My neck was really starting to hurt. Don't worry, little man. Now we should get going.
Damn. I think I need to buy medicine. Oh, right. I need money to stay at guard. Shit. I need to shower today. I need to remember this. Need 5 more real for that. Bullet holes on the plaza. Bullet holes in the backyard. I know about the revolution.
A row of ghostly shades stand facing the wall. There are many of them. A dozen at least. Their heads lowered and eyes blindfolded. It's quiet. No sound. no movement.
Damn, it was a shooting squad.
10 meters away, other shades are lined up in an orderly manner, automatic rifles primed. A gust of wind blows by. The coats of the firing squad flap slowly in the breeze. A single person stands on the side. Snowflakes fall on the wooden planks and the surrounding sand dunes, covering the land with the white of innocence. A long time has passed since the moment of this fusillading. Rain and brine have since washed all the blood away. Not a trace remains.
I didn't think about the firing squad because bullet holes they kinda look like they are too high for that. What is this?
The abundance of bullet holes leads to two options. Either an inordinate amount of executions were performed here, or they did not use a conscience round, where only one soldier has the loaded rifle. Looks like this was a mass execution with everyone fully armed.
Look at the people against the wall.
A host of men, probably in everyday clothes, ragged from the conflict and covered in dust. They were not sitting, a common practice for executions in some nations, as demonstrated by the height level of the bullet holes. They stand, facing the wall. It's impossible to discern any details about their personality or background. Ordinary people, familiar, each and every one of them.
Who were they?
Collateral damage on the path toward normalcy and progress. Such is your belief, officer. Maybe you should change it. They were praying, screaming.
Look at the line of soldiers.
7 men in combat uniforms and dark coats, holding automatic rifles aimed at the people. Soldiers from some side, but from which one?
Look at the person standing on the side.
The commandant, the one who gives the order. Machine gun fire crackling through the air. The lights of the muzzle flashes dancing on his face.
Kim, who was who in this execution?
I don't know. I don't know who died here, lined up beside that horrible wall. It could have been any of the parties involved in the revolution. Perhaps the ones executed here were the loyalist conservatives, killed by the communists at the start of the Civil War. Or it could have been the communists, put to death during the last stretch of the conflict by the coalition forces. It could even have been the employees of the Feld R&D center down the coast, as their building was taken over by the revolutionaries.
What about people from the coalition, the so-called moralists?
Yeah, it's very unlikely the coalition forces were the ones who died here. They were always the last ones against the wall. To be honest, if a coalition member was anyone in this situation, it was a commandant, the superior giving the orders.
Okay, what do I want to upgrade now? Conceptualization. Maybe I can give it 4 more levels. Or maybe I need to work on my authority after all. Man, but I think high conceptualization will end up on more experience. What about my thoughts? Okay, which one I really don't need? Raise to 5 and then this one. This one could be handy. This one is good. Caustic Echo is... it's useful for now. Yeah, I will keep it. Kingdom of Conscience. Yeah, it's one of the better ones. I do need it. Rigorous self-critique. Yeah, this one is very good. Jamavu. It's very good. Art degree is very good. Guillaume Le Million. I think it's good. Sheet compressor. Sheet compressor. Okay, sheet compressor. I actually don't really need it. Yeah, I don't need it anymore. Lonesome long way home. It's useful for now. Yeah. Okay, I can maybe replace my sheet compressor with something else. And currently I don't have any thoughts that I really want. So yeah, more conceptualization for now.
A cold sea wind blows away the figures. As you approach, the man turns and greets you with a polite wave. He appears completely at ease, like a common holidaymaker.
Ah, super. It's the officer. I was not expecting to run into you again, but things have a funny way of turning out, no? What brings you down to the scenic Martinez coast?
Actually, I was wondering what you are doing out here. I need your help forming a committee. I'm trying to assign la responsabilité.
My friend, if it's la responsabilité you're after, I have good news for you. There's no need to form such a committee, because it already exists.
God, of course it does. These moral intern types.
The Comité de Responsabilité de Revachol. It acts as a sort of clearinghouse for coalition activities. To put it simply, they are the ultimate arbiters of la responsabilité in this part of the world.
Yes, this is just the sort of reasonable authority you're looking for.
I would offer to connect you with the committee myself, but alas, I am not actually in Martinez.
What? Where is he then? He's speaking figuratively. He means he's not in Martinez in his official capacity.
What are you talking about? I'm looking at you right now. I got it. You are only here on personal business.
Précisément. Officially, I am still in La Delta, preparing for an upcoming conference on fuel oil derivatives. That's why it would be extremely irregular, or potentially even inappropriate for me to intercede with the committee concerning a district I'm not officially in.
But this is an urgent matter. I need to get in touch with the committee. How am I supposed to contact the committee then? Are you saying I should just give up?
Well, under ordinary circumstances, the committee contacts you.
In other words, the committee only knows what it wants to know.
But if you have information of a vital interest, they might be willing to entertain an exception. In which case, I would advise you to contact them via Coalition Warship Archer.
Why do I need to go through Archer to speak to the committee?
You see, in addition to being an airborne artillery platform, Coalition Warship Archer is also the linchpin of the Coalition's surveillance and communications infrastructure in Revachol.
Hold on, it's watching us too?
And listening. It has the most objective vantage point in the entire city. Not to mention a vast array of radio, photographic, and meteorological monitoring instruments. I find it a great comfort to know there are benevolent powers watching over all, in strict accordance with the Wayfarer Act and the Bristol-Mune Convention.
The Bristol-Mune Conventions are a series of international agreements governing the treatment of military personnel and civilians in theaters of war, as well as occupied territories. In practice, they are more talked about than observed.
So, how does one go about contacting a coalition warship?
This is quite the problem. Very tricky. Of course, the Archer has orders to fire on any unidentified aerostatics that might approach it, so it might be safer to get in touch from the ground. But in that case, you would require a radio transmitter capable of broadcasting on coalition frequencies. And that kind of technology naturally isn't typically available for non-coalition use. Yes, it is a bit of a conundrum. I suppose there might be some way to circuit bend your way onto those frequencies, but you'd have to be one of those techno-tinkerers to do it.
Do you know any of these tinkerers? Is that legal? So what am I supposed to do?
Unauthorized circuit bending is a very serious matter with grave security implications. But as of the moment, there is no specific law forbidding it. In Revachol, at least.
Ah, good. Techno-tinkerers. Just what this side task was missing.
Let me just say that I have complete confidence in the RCM. I'm sure you'll figure something out. Well, that's très simple. I was visiting the fishing village just north of here. They have applied for a series of microloans to revitalize the old market, and well, I wished to see the situation firsthand. And then, well, I had some extra time on my hands, so I decided to stroll down here. It's quite peaceful, isn't it?
Look around. Yeah, it's lovely. It's not quite my scene. You don't know there was a mass execution right over there. Did you see all the bullet holes in that wall over there?
Really? Here? How can you be sure?
It's sort of a gift I have. I can reconstruct things that happened in the past. High-end detective stuff. For one, that wall over there is covered in bullet holes.
Ah? Is that what those pockmarks are? I might have guessed. Fascinating how much history is contained right here, if only one knows where to look for it.
Are you just going to let him get away with these generalities and euphemisms?
You're right. It's so complex and fascinating. I can't even begin to think critically about it.
Well said. Let us just be grateful that we don't live in such fascinating times.
Actually, there was something else I wanted to ask you about.
Ah bon? I'm all ears, officer.
And I had nothing else to ask. Thank you for your time.
Always my pleasure to be of assistance to the RCM. Godspeed, and if we don't meet again, bonne chance.
A door, a building, a hiding place. Could the instigator be inside? You mean, could have they shot maybe from this roof or from the balcony? Who knows? I wish I could sell my magnesium so I can buy health items. Could this be the buoy Klaasje told you about?
A metal and plastic contraption bobs up and down amidst the trembling reeds. At first, it just looks like trash, but if you look closer...
That, over there, must be the boy Klaasje told us about. The one she hid her passport in. We should take a look.
Ooh, hidden things, secrets, lies.
Pick up the buoy.
You lift the buoy out of the water without much effort. It's not tied to anything. The cords dangling from the bottom appear to have been cut.
Sniff the buoy.
It smells like you would expect it to smell. A concentrated version of the coast. Salt, industrial slop and decay.
Examine the plastic bowl.
The number 11 has been written on the yellow plastic. It hasn't been in the water for very long, but it's already discolored and slimy with silt. A latch holds it close, but only just barely. The brittle metal of the latch has cracked.
Simple construction. Very unsafe.
Shake the buoy.
There's something in there, splashing around.
Open the buoy.
A shot glass's worth of seawater pours out, some algae, and nothing else.
Well, damn.
We're lucky it's still here a little longer and it would have floated away. No documents. Who do you think took them?
I have no idea.
The lieutenant taps his foot, frowning. This is a minor quirk. We know what was in the buoy anyway. This is a disaster. Everything is ruined.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that. This is only a small loose end, but I do wish we knew who took the documents.
It must have been Klaasje's enemies, which means she is in danger. Maybe Klaasje took them herself. Could this be related to the cryptozoologists and their little expedition? I have no idea. Do you have any theories, Lieutenant? Maybe she already took them and now she distracted us. I will go back and she will not be there anymore.
That may very well be the case. We should keep an eye on her. Nothing more for us to do here. Let's go.
You could ask the miss what she thinks later if you have the time, though you doubt she'll tell you much at this point.
We still got here too late. There's nothing of use here anymore.
Probably, actually... I'm not sure I want to talk to cryptozoologists right now. Feels like a waste of time because I'm gonna focus on them on day 5 without Kim. Bars cover these long dusty windows.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Tomorrow is just a whisper away.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
The lieutenant raises the collar of his bomber jacket.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinaise? I'm Trant Heidelstam. You must be Kim Kitaragi, right? I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
This guy is another moralist, I think.
Nice to meet you.
Hold on, hypertext.
Yes, hypertext. Young carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course. Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the helm of his father's coat, clutching to his worm-themed coloring book.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into verbs lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see. Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in '08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why? Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
Encyclopedia loves to show off, huh? Just, this guy can rival me. So I'm gonna talk more than him. I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around? What is so fascinating about an empty old building? You look like someone who has money. Do you have any money?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off. He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone.
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hand to his eyes to shield himself from the freezing snow. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you.
What not a lot of people know is, this used to be the R&D department of Feld Electrical. And Feld, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Look at the building looming over you.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
I don't think I have ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains. They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve? I'm mixing my metaphors here.
What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer.
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution. Revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rhein, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins. All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. Wild Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management. Feld built this side of town for R&D.
You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk. Look under your feet. What happened? Okay.
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas rising to the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
What happened to the engineers, the company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about tape computers...
Wait, is he saying that we should just bypass the excesses of the revolution?
Turn to Mikhail. He means they all died at the hands of the communists. Tape computers, right?
Tape computers.
What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases, the most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album, Bon Baiser dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree. I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver worm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
Yeah, he's too young to learn about these things. How did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembers something.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Womty Domty Dom Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Jews joined the team.
He did it. He said, Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Juiced?
Okay, the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center. Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Juiced. What are you talking about?
The Womty Domty Dom Center for Contemporary Arts. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
You're making this up, turned to the lieutenant. Kim, is he making this up? Come on, there is no place called the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center of Arts.
In fact, I'm not. The Womty Domty Dom Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center. But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
Cool. I've seen cooler things than that. The RCM should get some of those.
Even one would be very useful. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to the precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Wait, the Feld playback experiment.
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind. I wanted to ask something else.
But of course, what else? I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not a thing at all.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling. No, I mean, come on. You need the money. If it's not a thing, he can give you some.
I don't want your money. I just wanted to see whether my profiling skills were working.
Of course, Detective. I wouldn't have assumed anything else. Matter of fact.
He looks up again, a playful hint shining in his eyes.
I don't know if you're familiar with this, but the Vespertine Department of Justice has published a rather interesting paper on the criminal profiling in former socialist states. Have you read it? If not, then you definitely should. If not for tips and tricks, then just for theoretical curiosity. Anyway, that's just a little something that sprang to mind. You were saying?
Great, thank you for all the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
Pick your brain. If anything, this was rather one-sided. He did the talking. Whatever.
Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center. Only 42 minutes? It's Wednesday evening and something heinously exciting is underway. People have gathered beneath the billowing roof of an oddly shaped trophy building, sipping wine and exchanging opinions. 29 years old wonder twins Guy and Keith Juice are the stars of the show, with their bomber jackets and white sneakers, head curators of this art exhibition. It's the the domiest event of the year, and all the cool kids have RSPFT. Where are you if you are not there? No idea what that means. Another power box. It charges nothing now, it's empty. The fence blocks the path, no way on from here.
The remaining windows rattle from a strong gust of wind. They're covered in a thick layer of grime. They must have been like this for 40 years.
Try to see inside.
Dripping water falls from a high place. All you can see is the shadow of a collapsing staircase. There's rust and corrosion on the bars. They're foaming with it. And a small layer of white salt from the sea.
Lieutenant, can you make out what is inside? Point at the windows.
No. I won't even try. You know,
He takes his glasses off.
I had a partner once. They called him Eyes, because he had to show me things. It's that bad.
This partner of his, Eyes, things didn't end well. It saddens him to say his name. Don't even ask. He wouldn't answer. Maybe some other small talk.
Damn, I can't even ask him forcefully. Can you still shoot, though?
Well enough, actually. It's odd how that works. I'm no sharpshooter, but I passed my shooting courses 7 out of 10.
Yet you didn't shoot that rope on the corpse. I said rod? I wanted to say rope. Can I enter there? Not like this. Buzz, hum. The electricity flows through the wires with audible power. Someone must have worked hard to smash the plastic dome.
A metal payphone under a yellow plastic dome. You could use it to call someone, unless you're out of change.
Pick up the handset.
You hear the tone. The machine is inoperable.
Put 10 cents in and dial a random number. 005 24 03 155.
Calling. Still calling. This feels wrong. Should you be doing this? End of tone. Someone picks up.
Pierre? Is that you, Pierre?
The voice is female and sounds about 100 years old. No, this is not Pierre.
Do you have any news about Pierre?
Who is Pierre?
He's my sister's grandson. He used to visit me as a lad. Fine young man. But who are you then? A salesman of some sort? Modern goods are rubbish, and I can't afford them anyhow. It's a shame what you did to our country.
The woman moans and the phone lines howl in unison with her. I'm not a salesman, I was just calling a random number and you somehow ran with it. Yes, I am a salesman. What exactly did we do to your country? I don't know who I am, but who are you? No, I am a police officer.
To hell with the police! To hell with you!
Her voice is drowned in white noise. Sounds like waves washing a beach, growing in volume until the call suddenly disconnects. You get a sinking feeling. It makes you look if Lieutenant Kitsuragi overheard you. To your relief, he did not.
Guess I can call someone else, but maybe later. There's a slit in the concrete here, a sewer.
Someone has left an unidentifiable article of clothing on this railing. It smells really bad.
Take a closer look.
It's streaked with dried seagull shit and tangled with pieces of seaweed. A dangling arm suggests that there might be a jacket beneath the crust of filth. It seems likely that it was left in the surf until someone laid it out on this fence to dry out. Unfortunately, that just seems to have stiffened it into a shapeless mass.
Please tell me you're not taking that with you.
It might be a clue.
A clue? You think our suspect is a seagull who's been defecating on unsuspecting jacket?
No.
Me neither.
You should still take it.
No, I don't want to. Filthy jacket. Ugh. This filthy rag has been at the mercy of the elements for quite some time. It's streaked with seagull shit and abnormally stiff from God knows what natural processes. You can't even tell what brand it is.
As you hold it in your hands, it makes an uncomfortable crunching sound.
Man, how did this jacket get so disgusting?
It's a sordid, filthy tale, not for the weak. Are you sure you can stomach it?
Think about it.
It occurs to you that you're not even holding the jacket itself, but rather the thick crust of jetsam and seagull shit that ensconces it. It smells like a dead sea creature, tangled in grey strands of seaweed. It must have spent quite some time in the water before the tide deposited it ashore.
Okay, but what is the crust made of?
Somehow, it was carried or dragged to the boardwalk. If not by human hands, then perhaps the feral dogs that prowl the beaches at night. The faint impressions of many footprints are also present, though it's impossible to tell what kind or how many. Suffice to say, the jacket spent some time on the ground before someone draped it over the railing.
What happened once someone put it on the railing?
The crust is hard. This jacket spent at least a day baking in the sun. Who knows what happened to it then?
I'm just going to pretend I didn't think about any of this.
It's too late. You've already thought about it, and now your hands are covered in muck.
Ew, flick your hands.
Now you're just flicking that shit everywhere. This is a disaster. You'll never get the smell out.
Fucking hell. I hope I can sell it, or maybe it will come later for something. A makeshift roof. Vagrants have tried to make the boardwalk habitable. That tarp will keep out neither rain, nor snow, nor wind. A big wine canister. It's open and empty.
The smell. It's awful and familiar.
Hold on, that is awful. Cover your nose.
It doesn't help. You can still smell it.
Isn't it just the rotting fish?
Don't be naive.
Oh no.
Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency, that faintly cloying sweetness. Only death smells like that.
Oh, is that a corpse?
Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. It is death. It must be.
Heads up, Lieutenant. Something is not right here.
The lieutenant has already brought a handkerchief to his nose.
Careful there. These floorboards look rotten and weak.
There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled kebab wrapper in the trash bin.
Examine the tear.
2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka and a can of black potent porter is all you find. No, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor, plus some Pilsner bottles too. Better not pick them up. They seem unhygienic.
A tragedy.
The lieutenant looks in the can, eyes watering from the smell.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness.
Examine the cigarette package.
Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. The brand name reads Red Astra. Red Astra is the black market version of Astra cigarettes, known for their high tar content.
Examine the kebab wrapper.
You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. The wrapper reads Shish Kebab Revachol. It's no older than a day or two. No mold yet. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him is an empty bottle of spirits. In his cramped hand, a chewing gum wrapper.
A chewing gum wrapper. Those pens that I found, are they belong to you? And working class. Are you the husband of that woman around the bookstore?
The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse, but it's definitely heading there.
Hold on.
The lieutenant squats next to the corpse and examines his face. 2 bulging eyes stare back at him, void of any signs of life.
Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days. No longer. We need to investigate.
He stands up and shivers as a gust of wind blows through his bomber jacket.
Another dead body. This is your job. Steel yourself.
Study the man's clothes.
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest.
Search his pockets.
You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels sodden and heavy under your hand.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
Study the man himself.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. Coagulated blood covers his black hair. One of his feet is still dangling through the hole.
This is a dumb way to die.
A bad fall. It might have been dark outside. This place is a minefield in the dark.
Examine his face.
His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of water shining on his moustache. His eyes, empty and wide, look frightening in their frozen gaze. Height, 170 to 175 centimeters. Curly hair, stout build. Age, approximately 50 to 60 years. He was confused when he died. Confused and alone, most likely. Overcome with the awful surprise of it all.
Study the surroundings.
There's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floorboards are rotten and slippery wet around the hole. An empty bottle lies nearby. A chewing gum wrapper is clutched in his fist.
Examine the man's head.
A dried chunk of blood covers the hair at the back of his head. An open wound. It's sticky and cold to your touch. This is what killed him.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you?
No, just this one at the back of his head.
Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bench.
A step on the floorboards.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead man's weight was the cause of the boardwalk to break. It definitely looks fragile. You see waves churning below. Something cracks beneath your feet. He could have easily disappeared into the sea through that hole, and you would have never found him.
Examine the bottle.
A .75-liter Tallulah vodka with its cap missing. There's hardly anything left inside.
Tear all around us.
He looks at 2 other bottles near the coin-operator viewer, then at your yellow plastic bag.
I'd prefer if you didn't collect them this time. It's not proper.
True. It feels disrespectful.
I would still take some. Examine the chewing gum wrapper.
Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The man's mouth is half agape from the terror of the fall.
Look in.
The blackness of death. Stench. You think you see white chewing gum too. Confirmed. Nearly the whole pack is there. solidified on his lower rear teeth.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's to cover the smell of alcohol before going home. The worst thing is, I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario, even the chewing gum. It's always the same.
In a ditch off a road below the 881, he thinks. A young father. Then he shakes his head to make the memory stop.
Step back.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take a step back.
Who is this man?
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. You don't just walk over here.
It looks south, the way you came.
But that's just a lazy assumption. What do you think?
This is an omen, a sign from above. Don't start drinking again.
It looks like me. I could have ended up just like him, dead on some empty boardwalk with a bottle next to my corpse. Looks just like another old drunkard to me. I think labeling him as an alcoholic is a bit premature. We don't know anything yet.
We do know that he was married.
The lieutenant points at the ring on the man's left hand, the flesh around it swollen and grey.
But you're right. Let's not run ahead. For now, all we know is that he's an unidentified middle-aged man found dead on the Martinez boardwalk.
What do you think happened here?
Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. If it wouldn't have been for that bench, he'd be alive.
Could it be related to the lynching, Ruby? Do you think he was drunk? What about the kebab?
No, I don't see anything that points in that direction. For now, let's treat this case as a simple, albeit sad, accident, unrelated to the murder case.
Agreed. If this somehow converges later, why not? But
oh yes.
What about alcohol poisoning and liver failure?
Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have definitely played a role here. Severe confusion, respiratory depression, unpredictable behavior. But I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the Pox.
sometimes a kebab is just a kebab.
Someone should be held responsible for this broken boardwalk. It's dangerous.
They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. I doubt that they have enough resources to actually repair the boardwalk. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city council's hands clean.
He smiles sourly. Right.
It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure, although there's still a question of identifying the body.
What should we do with him?
He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket with a bright blue lining. There are traces of kebab sauce on his chest.
Search his pockets.
Only some sunflower seeds remain in his soaked pockets. You already took the library card.
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
A library card found from a pocket of the dead man on the Martinez boardwalk. It's still slightly damp to the touch. The cover bears the stamp of Jamrock Public Library.
The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, Central Jamrock Public Library Card, issued to Billy Mejean, expires July 53. Billy is a unisex name. Could be the deceased, or his family member.
Look inside.
Whoever owns this card is an avid reader. You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Radio thriller. Stand a little less between me and the sun. The last one in the list is The Glinting Curve by M. Theobald. A library stamp indicates that the book has been returned. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi genre. Some thrillers too.
Look at the backside.
If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005 02 55211 or visit us at Moreau Street, 78, Jamrock. Business hours, 900 to 1800.
We should first decide what to do with the body. before taking any other actions. Let's take another look at the body and talk things through.
This coin-operator viewer has been out of order for years.
A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent.
What
and
should
neck
we do
turned
with him?
at.
From where I stand, I can see two options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own, or we report back to the station and leave this for our colleagues to handle.
Hold on, what about field autopsy?
A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death doesn't appear to be criminal, and this looks like a simple accident to me. I'd say we should just write down head trauma and leave it at that. Let's keep this detour as short as possible. The sooner we get back to finding Ruby, the better.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of sloppy? You're right, I don't see anything criminal here. Let's leave it at that.
Good call. The guys at processing can take care of the rest.
We found him. We should finish this. Take the case. Let's leave this case for the station. I don't want to spend time on it. Don't take the case. I still need some time to decide how I want to solve this case. Return to this later.
Alright, we've already examined the library card. Let's call the Jamrock Library from my kinema, see if we can learn anything about this Billy Méjean. And while we're there, we should also call the station. Let them know that we are taking the case.
Okay, but... calling that library right now will not do anything, right? Because it's 7 PM already, so they will not be working at this time. A coin-operated weighing machine hasn't been used for a decade. +2 encyclopedia, -1 perception. Mega Bino's prescription lenses. Vagrants have recently painted the tarp red. Water drips from it. Whose idiotic idea were square and beige plastic frames anyway? Beige is a color that does not look good on anyone, not to mention that seeing the world through these exceedingly thick lenses feels almost nauseating. A dead phone, a smashed receiver, like someone hung up too hard. A kick drum pulse. The music is coming from somewhere on the ice. You feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. The sign reads Saint Brune 1147. Dusty pews in the shadows, many seem to be missing. An altar shrouded in dark, or something like that, it's too dark to tell.
Yes?
Nice, now I have enough money. This barrel has been recently discarded. It still smells of fuel oil. The chain trails off into the ocean, to who knows where. These rusty gears used to turn the whole machine.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't been opened in a long while. You see a handle.
What is this thing anyway?
It's military. A service depot of some sort.
I used to service what?
The washerwoman mentioned a depot up the coast. She said it was for moving ammo and cargo across the bay. This might be it.
It may have been used to service an aerostatic battleship in the atmosphere, or a fortification, like a sea fort in the bay.
Could this structure have been used to take the shot?
From here to the whirling? I can't see how. The church is in the way.
Ooh. Red check with 3%? Nope. Requires 20 interfacing. That's a lot. I'm not getting that one. For sure. Cigarette butts cleaned away under a rock. Brand Tiomutiri. You take a mental note. Tiomutiri seems important somehow. Someone's made a campfire here a long time ago. A rusted broken control box for the radio relay tower. This ladder is too rusty to climb. The sea air has eaten away at it. This relay tower coordinates boat traffic in the bay. Barely. Tiny inlets there, off in the far distance, where the posts trail toward. Scented scarf. +1 shivers, -2 physical instrument. Sheesh. This light springtime scarf smells like men's cologne mixed with cheap laundry detergent. Someone must have left it behind, probably from a date. Wear it if you want to delude yourself that spring has arrived. Man, but this place is huge. The boardwalk rises to your south. It casts its long shadow over you. Feels easy to miss something in this place. +1 rhetoric, -1 empathy. White polo shirt. This shirt looks worn and smells a bit. You can't help but wonder who would leave it stuffed in a tear container. What kind of man would even wear a polo shirt? This might be one of life's mysteries that will never be solved. Well, I guess I'm going to that church.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood.
I rattle the doors to see if they open.
Nothing happens, only the sound of the padlock rattling against the door.
I don't think that's going to work. Do you think our suspect is hiding inside?
He raises his sight to the darkened windows overhead. She might be. It's worth checking out anyway.
The lieutenant nods, silently.
Inspect the carpentry.
The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. Two large beams shoot downwards, sinking into the wood before they reach the threshold.
Run your hand over a beam.
The surface is smooth from the wind, but moist to the touch.
Take a closer look at the padlock.
This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden door. The lock is adorned with a yellow sticker. It'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting, somehow.
Look at the sticker.
You see a yellow circle with 2 X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is clear enough. A smiling dead guy. The curve makes it smile, and the X's make it dead. There is something blindingly modern about this symbol. Its modernness puts to shame everything you've seen before.
What makes it so modern?
It's the contrast between the cheery, chemical yellow and the rigor mortis. As if the cheery guy didn't know he was dead, or the dead guy didn't care that he was. Either way, you get the sense the forces of future are at work here.
Have you seen this symbol before? Point to it.
He takes off his glasses and uses a blue handkerchief to thoroughly wipe them clean before inspecting the sticker. Then he looks up, pauses, and replies.
No.
Oh, what does it look like to you?
Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency.
What is suggestive of junior delinquency here?
I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth.
I agree, it's very modern, but does the cheery guy not know he's dead, or does the dead guy not care that he is? What is the source of the irony here? Padlock, padlock, padlock.
That level of conceptual thinking is not part of my skill set.
Inspect the staple.
The padlock passes through a staple that's been hastily attached to the wood. Closer inspection reveals that one of the screws is not a screw at all, but a nail. The work has been done recently and is unprofessional, to say the least. Should you want to get through, it might be easier to just pry the whole thing off.
Turn to the lieutenant. This is where Mr. Pryber comes in handy.
Maybe we should circle the building first and look for another way. The building has seen enough mistreatment.
There is a touch of guilt in his voice.
Should we start with that kick drum coming from the ice? I heard a sound before.
Yes, the pulsing bass. A sure sign of junior delinquency, somewhere east of here.
There's something on the sea ice there.
Try to peel off the sticker without ripping it.
There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb.
Put the sticker in your ledger after the last entry where it belongs. Put the sticker on your ledger, right on the cover. Shake it off your thumb and throw it in the wind. And we'll not do that. Yeah, after the last entry.
Looks like today was a gold star day.
Full of holes. Could suppose hide treasure. Look inside. Oh, alcohol. Each of them have loot? What the hell? Wow, very generous. God damn. Someone is talking there. But I can't really see who is that. There is a ladder on the roof. Okay, maybe I'm not entering from this way. It must have taken a lot of patience to do this. Who are you? Is your hair red? Is that Ruby?
A shaggy-looking girl
No.
in her late teens or early 20s kneels on the ice with an electronic contraption in her hand. Hearing you approach, she looks up.
Oh, hello there.
It's cold out here, but she's not wearing a hat. She must be freezing.
Dear child, it's freezing. Where is your hat?
Huh?
She looks up at you, distracted.
Maybe she didn't hear you. A little louder.
I said you should have a hat on.
So should you.
Come to think of it, I should. Where would I get one around here? I don't have to do anything. I am the law. You have to do what the law says. We're done here. Okay. Which hat would you like more? I guess this one.
Is this about the hat again? I don't see you wearing a hat.
But I am. Point at your hat.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
It's nice. You should wear one too if you plan on staying outside in this weather.
Yeah, well... Look man, fuck the hat.
What did she just say? That's not how a civilian is supposed to address an officer of the law.
Regain authority in her eyes. Okay.
Lots of feeling. Feel it up. Way up.
Oh my god, fuck the hat? Is that what you just said to me? I can't believe you told me to fuck the hat.
You're saying it really loud, but it's not coming out right. Maybe add more indignation.
So I should just take this hat I'm wearing and fuck it, right? Point at your head where the hat is located. Engage in sexual intercourse with the hat right here in front of you because you told me so on the sea ice?
More.
Right here on the sea ice?
More.
Give you a little ice cup hat fuck show. Puff your cheeks as if you can't even breathe from the sheer indignity of the affront. How do you do that? Like, nah.
I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
The girl is visibly shaken.
The lieutenant is watching the scene unfold before his eyes, unsure how to react.
Is that how you see me?
The girl looks down, slowly curling into a ball. That's it. You've earned it. Start crying. Life's hard.
Start crying. Anyway, I can't believe you used obscenities like that in front of a police officer, and you should...
The young woman has kept her eyes trained on her wires, waiting for the sorry spectacle to end, but it's gone awful quiet up there. Then, the sound of sobbing. Looking up, she sees a grown man on the wrong side of 40, his face bloated from alcohol, and God knows what else. Not so quietly, crying.
This isn't really about the hat, is it?
No, it is. It so is. Wipe away the tears. Anyway, I can't believe you would use obscenities like that in front of a police officer, and you should wear a hat too. Her voice line didn't work. I swear to God, I will always wear a hat from now on. Would it be alright if I ask you some questions now?
You know, you're not the only one with issues. I self-medicate. Shit. Life's a horror, you know? Crying helps though. Get it out your system. And then maybe we can talk. Okay? I'll be here.
Kim wants to talk. Familiar music is coming. Is that hardcore theme? Huh. Having looked away during the final phase of your little episode, the lieutenant now addresses you.
Do you want to talk about what just happened?
That's probably a good idea.
Normally, I'm opposed to discussing one's feelings, especially on duty. But I think this is an exceptional case. So, what do you think happened?
'Tis possible thou couldst persuade the lieutenant 'twas all a part of thy unorthodox method. But can thou persuade thyself?
A crygasm. I experienced a minor malfunction. I'm okay now. It was nothing. Convince yourself that you didn't melt down just now.
Believeth in thyself, my liege. 'Twas all a clever ruse.
Don't worry, Kim. It was all a ruse.
Yes, a clever ruse, I see.
You don't, but you will. Right. I mean, who cries in public, like for real?
Even so, in the future, could you please refrain from emoting too much on duty? The quasi-legal status of the RCM means we need to project strength twice as consistently as any other police force in the world.
Weakness is strength.
Not when projecting strength. Then it's just weakness.
Sounds like typical macho bullshit to me. Okay, then it isn't strength, you're right.
That may be so, but such is Revachol, and this is what is expected of us in Revachol.
You get the feeling you're being handled with kid gloves because your cheeks are still soaking wet.
Glad to hear it was minor. Can you go on?
Yes, it is my duty after all. Absolutely, superstars always get back up and try again. The end is near anyway, I might as well see this through. I can, and I'm sorry, Kim, I promise this is the last time. It will not be.
Then, let's go.
Strange that I didn't hear this music before. It just started playing randomly. Painted with pastels, someone is trying to bring cheer into the world. Alright, let's forget a thought that I don't need. Shit compressor. Bye bye. And I'm gonna research Omki Dom Center. Trash from some unending party. A pole screwed into the ice keeps the tent erect. More tribalistic markings. This post is covered in little humanoids.
The tent is just tarpaulin fabric covering a pile of stuff. The flap is open. Inside, 3 young men, all in forward-looking apparel, reminiscent of the sticker on the padlock, are listening to some new form of music. It's like nothing you've ever heard. One of them looks at you.
Come on! Get in and close the flap behind you. The warm stuff's getting out.
It's safe to assume this is their leader, or at least he thinks he is.
Squeeze in.
Sorry, we barely have room for one.
You go ahead. I'm too old for this.
I'm actually not, he thinks. I just dislike delinquents.
I'm sure you will feel right at home. I'll keep watch.
He gestures for you to squeeze in. Smells like sweat and laundry detergent, plus a trace of ether. Canisters filled with what appears to be water. The label says distilled. Ah, no! I didn't want to exit. A pile of nasal sprays. Brand name Nosafet Ultra. A speaker, the big kind they use for live music.
Go speak to Andre. I'm just annoyed.
A strangely dressed young man says without looking up from his toolbox. What if I want to speak to you first?
I suck at socialising, man. If you go speak to Andre, I'll have time to tune in, get a reading on your sign.
Before he's finished talking, he's already turned back to his tools.
This young speed freak seems to know a lot about signs. Could he be the techno tinkerer you're looking for?
Alright, I will do that.
The young man picks up a thin metal saw blade and nods. A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Walshy tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says,
A young man? Egghead. Well, on his model, he doesn't look bold to me. Interesting. His portrait looks very different to his model. It's kinda weird.
As though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret.
Hardcore!
Say nothing. Is it?
It's hardcore!
Well, I am playing in hardcore mode. You're just gonna keep saying it's hardcore, aren't you?
Skibbity, skibberdanger. I am the rearranger.
Your cop training did not prepare you for this. What to do? Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Solve the egghead puzzle. I almost thought that he's saying skibidi and oh no.
You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
There is definitely something futuristic about his hair, aggressively so. You get the sense that this is what the future will look like. Imbecilic, yes, should the future ever come, it will look deeply imbecilic, like this guy.
Shake his hand.
His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse, Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
An egghead. Egg!
The tape player high above his head continues to blast strange music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
Wait, how many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
That means they haven't set up a single one yet.
Why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
There is no need, the place is pretty bad. Next time, watch yourself. Was there something you wanted?
Yeah, it's a matter of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
An attempt to pander to your perceived conservative sensibilities. No person his age would ever use a word like narcomania with a straight face. Don't fall for it.
Enough histrionics, what are you talking about?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dopeheads! Burnouts!
He angrily spits on a screw, then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revachol.
Strike that! The word!
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts holed up in there are the worst kind.
Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those.
I won't stand for narcomaniacs of any kind. No narcomaniacs on my watch. Shake your head gravely. I feel like you may be laying this on a bit thick. What is really so bad about these dopeheads and burnouts?
Yes. And the worst part is, they're also spooky.
What exactly do you mean by spooky?
I was hoping you would be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is, their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church into a community centre and a place of spiritual refuge.
Also, they don't eat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse.
People just wanna spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that.
Thank you, Egghead. So you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out. Whatever spooky stuff they're doing, I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for.
I will look into it. Tell me more. Okay.
All right, man.
He claps his hands enthusiastically.
Andre's obviously very happy you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchanged giddy looks.
Did you put the padlock on the door?
Yes. I asked Noy to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. It's a temporary fix, just something to contain the situation.
I had to do it in an hurry. Not my best work, but it should hold for a while.
I need the key.
Of course. Noid, give the officer the key.
All right.
The speed freak dips into his belt pack and produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden cool-infused move, tossing it in your general direction. Be the cool cop. Catch the key as it flies toward you. Let it fall to the ground, then pick it up, like a normal adult person.
You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left.
Ooh, I barely wrote this one. Catch it.
Ka-ching! The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly.
Bask in the glory. Thanks, man. Play it cool.
The speed freak nods to you. A respectful nod. You proved something here.
How long have those people been locked in here?
Not long. Like a week, maybe?
How can you be sure they haven't starved to death? This is cool. Taking initiative like this is proper citizen behavior, and I endorse it.
I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on. I'm at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive.
Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter there.
Andre, do you know what involuntary manslaughter means? 85% is not good enough when you're dealing with another person's physical well-being. 85% is good enough. No one lives forever, baby.
Yes, I do. I listen to Channel 8 all the time. I know about crime stuff, and I assure you, officer, this is not what's happening here. I'm at least 80% sure they're alive. I mean, come on. Most people aren't ever that alive in their entire lives.
What does that even mean? Yeah, I catch your drift. Sounds like nonsense.
I knew you'd get it. You're one smart cop.
It feels good to be the smart cop, doesn't it? That's a good cop to be. Has a nice ring to it. Smart cop. You wouldn't want to be stupid cop, now would you? But still, maybe he's just sucking up to you.
You can stop battering me up now, thank you. I get by. Now, where was I with that padlock?
He nods attentively, ready to answer the questions of one smart cop.
Sure, man. Tell us what you want to know. Let's do it.
Who exactly are these people inside the church?
Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses.
You haven't even seen them and you want the police involved.
Well, there's also the machinery.
This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety.
When I first scouted the place, back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set the stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there.
One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like it.
Andre, tell him about the feeling.
Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark.
No, the other one.
Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg.
Felt like silence. Awful silence.
For this man, even regular silence is awful enough. But that was something greater.
But you haven't physically seen anyone.
Not exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church. A couple of times. And we felt someone or something eyeing us inside. But that's kinda it.
The woman. Red hair maybe? A lorry woman?
Sure, why not? Yeah.
But not really. Brown hair, old, heavy, dark science.
So which one is it?
What Noid said.
So brown and older, Ruby might have dyed her hair, though it seems like a stretch at this point.
Yeah, it's someone else. Maybe it's that sniper that I keep expecting to see. What was that about something watching you?
Like, you aren't alone, you know?
It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean.
Not human, as in a ghost? Do you know what he means?
It was this dark shape climbing upside down along the ceiling, like some kind of crabman.
A crabman?
Yeah, you know, the way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab.
It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behaviour.
Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures, and not known for climbing walls.
Are you sure there was a crabman?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone that time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there.
You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in a crab.
There probably is no crabman. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense.
Can you tell me more about this machinery?
You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some snuff station too. Probably, very likely.
So, how can you be sure there are burnouts and dope heads if you haven't even seen them?
Well, honestly, I can't. But I am.
This is a below-feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he is attempting to weaponize idiocy.
Wow, you can't, but you do. I should add weaponized idiocy to my own repertoire. I don't see a single thing wrong with that argument.
Hey now, I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers.
Your assurance is going lower and lower each time.
Don't let all that technology fool you. Where do you think the drugs come from?
The gesture is super futuristic. Goes well with his spiked imbecile hair.
Alright, let's talk about something else.
Sure. What?
That's it for now.
As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah!
Not in the mood to listen to them more. That was awful. This is someone's home away from home, just like yours.
A pane of eternite has been planted into the snow. 2 poles are holding it up. Barely holding it up. It could fall over any minute. A stronger gust of wind might be enough.
What is this?
It looks like a makeshift bridge. Could be convenient.
Push the eternite over.
The pane falls into the icy snow with a soft thunk.
Nice, a shortcut. A school of fish huddle around the fence post, then scatter into the dark. Looking back at you from the rust-colored water, you. Let's go back to Klaasje. I had enough of this place. I don't know, it's just so gloomy. Not really feeling awesome in this place. Maybe I'm just tired. Yeah, maybe I'm just exhausted. So yeah, probably we'll keep this episode short so I wouldn't be in a bad mood for too long. A creaking ahead, a broken axle grinding. I expected to reach day 5 today. No. At least It's a time when Kim would go to sleep, but not today, I guess. Scribbled between the thighs of a page 3 girl. L'origine du disco. Oh yeah, let's report the test.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
This is Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Connect me to Jamrock Public Library.
I'm afraid they're closed. It says here that the library is open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
We should try again during business hours.
Anything else, Detective?
I need to report a dead body on the Martinez boardwalk.
One moment. Can you please describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death?
An identified middle-aged man, height 170 or 75 centimeters, dark hair, medium build, looks like he slipped, fell through a hole in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench.
We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him and traces of vomit on his shirt.
Any signs of violence?
No, seems like it was an accident.
No field autopsy necessary.
You can hear her quickly typing in the background.
What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes?
He was wearing boots, trousers, and an old leather jacket with a bright blue lining. I found a library card from his pockets.
Any information on the library card?
It's from Central Jamrock Public Library. It belongs to someone named Billy Mijin.
Good. You have a lead. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it to someone else?
We are taking the case.
I have assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue. That's all for now. Thank you for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you? 57th.
In the cabin, you see a set. Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center. You're at home, stupid cop. Not with the art crowd. You hate them. Everyone hates them. Even they hate themselves. It's nauseating. An industry built on sprezzatura and sparkling wine. And, let's be honest, tax evasion schemes. The Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center is the heart of this unholy symbiosis of aesthetics and tax optimization. And now that you've internalized it, you can have a piece too.
Encyclopedia passives gives +10 experience and 2 real? -2 suggestion, pretensions 1k. I didn't pronounce this correctly. Pretentious 1k. No. Pretentious 1k. You 1k. 1k. You 1k. Okay, this word, I don't know. I think I'm not saying it correctly. That's pretty good. I really didn't like my suggestion anyway. But I guess I'm not seducing that Lillian woman anymore. But wasn't really planning on that. More experience and more money? Hell yeah. More important. So I guess I should put more points into encyclopedia actually. It's not very high. Yeah, I think I should put at least 4 more points into it. Maybe more. Not bad. Much better than the shit compressor.
The surrounding blaze of the electric lights makes the white on blue police livery of the motor carriage seem beautifully ominous.
Wait, why am I even thinking about this? Wasn't I supposed to
do something important? Something murder related? There's always something important. Doesn't mean you can't take a moment to admire this piece of machinery. This is a Caprice Canema, the Caprice Motor Corps follow-up to their highly successful workhorse, Caprice 40, and the answer to the Lum's racing breed, Firth series.
Nice. Now I'm gonna get money for being a nerd. Awesome.
With its air-cooled, rear-mounted 12-cylinder compression ignition engine driving the rear wheels through a 4-speed manual gearbox, the Kanema is able to reach 100 kilometers per hour in 13.5 seconds and go on to a top speed of 180 kilometers an hour.
Won't it roll over in the first sharp corner?
The high center of balance is offset by a large battery bank mounted at the bottom of the cabin, feeding all the auxiliary systems and making the Kanema effectively a mobile power plant.
This tech talk is really rubbing me the right way.
Due to a quite steep price tag, it is very unusual to see one in police livery.
That machine really puts the loco back in locomotion. Point to the vehicle. Very cool. I don't like your machine, Lieutenant. Looks impractical. Shrug. Motor carriage, one of many.
You want to take a closer look?
What is packing there? Point to the engine.
130.
I reckon that's a 7-liter V12 there. Man, that's got to be a major advancement over the KR-18GU engine on the old Caprice 40.
That's what, wrap your chin, a 7-liter V12. It must be an advancement of the old KR-18GU engine on the older 40 models, right? I can't whistle. I can't. I'm not gonna even try. Mama's serving some serious macaroni. I thought it would make more.
Yeah, you know it?
The lieutenant seems surprised. Just the basics. Cast iron block, swirl chamber injection, dual chains driving overhead camshafts, 2 valves per cylinder, hydraulic valve lash adjustment.
Yes, that's right. I'm very impressed that you know these things.
A fine machine. Run your hand over the smooth metal surface.
Yes, an extraordinary machine.
There is gentleness in the lieutenant's voice as his eyes run over the vehicle's contours.
Helium headlights would improve the range and quality of the visual field a lot. It's a bit girly right now, fitted with some proper off-road components.
Ever thought about switching to helium headlights?
Actually, I have a pair at home. Just haven't gotten around to fitting them yet. I need to lay some wiring for the ballast first.
He takes his car very seriously. He really likes upgrading it. If we ever get this case solved, maybe we can do it together.
You want to help? Thank you for the offer. That might be fun. Let's do the case first, though, alright?
Alright.
He liked the idea.
Okay, let's move. That was so nice. And camera is very broken right now. Very nice. Oh.
You did? And how did you like him?
I didn't like him as much as I like you.
Ah, shoot. Why not? What about me? Bye-bye, gendarme.
Again?
Yes?
Hey, was there something you needed? Got the 20 real? Good. You got the room for the night, but remember, you'll need...
Take it easy on him. Deep down, he really hates being the guy who has to remind you.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot to talk with Mañana.
The man ponders.
Maybe Mañana knows something about the borscht. Oh, still so many things to do actually. Maybe game is not ending very soon as I was thinking last time.
The bed is still...
I want to wash myself, but I guess I can't do that for now.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face.
Okay, what time is it? Let's talk to Klaasje and maybe end the episode. I don't know, I'm just feeling low energy all of a sudden, so I think I just should stop.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
I found your buoy. It was empty, just seawater.
Oh.
Did you take the documents?
No, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me. In truth, I should have destroyed them.
She doesn't seem to be lying. She's genuinely spooked by their disappearance.
Perhaps the people who are after you took it.
They couldn't know where I put it. I'm absolutely sure I was not followed. And I've told no one but you. You mentioned seawater? I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away.
Okay. I don't know, I'm trusting her less and less. Documents not being there feels too convenient. Maybe she made up the whole story about her being an agent of some sorts. So maybe her actual job is something else.
Stuck in the rain in a...
Maybe she is still that lorry driver I was looking for. Because Tommy described her as someone desperate, and that if I investigate about her, then that wouldn't end well to her, that she wouldn't survive that, and Klaasje kinda sounds like that. It fits her description.
Hola, Wandering Man. How can I help you now?
Okay. Can talk about borscht.
Right, 2, 1. A lorry stuck.
Haven't talked to Feld driver in a long time, but I doubt she has anything.
The woman looks. Girl child, you hear her say. Girl child.
Huh? What is it?
Okay. Nothing else.
A lorry abandoned by its owner. The smell of cigarettes and perfume welcomes you. The cabin inside is plastered. There's something odd about the passenger seat. The seating fabric has been pulled tight over the lower side of the seat where the toolbox should be.
Oh, peel off the cover on the passenger seat.
Voila! A stack of neatly folded papers has been stashed behind the seating fabric. You see 3 maps depicting a large metropolitan area. It's Revachon. Some of its routes and highways have been outlined with a pen.
Bonne prise.
The lieutenant commands you as you shift through the treasure, well worn and folded into neat squares. Hold open the topmost map.
This large map displays the elevated motorway called 881. The intake leading to Martinez is marked with a blue X. There's another X on the off-ramp at a place called the Old South. Toll booths at the intakes are marked with a circle. It looks like there are scant few ways of getting onto the elevated motorway that runs over Jamrock. and this person knows them all.
Feld opens the second map.
This municipal map from the 30s displays a complex system of storm sewers underneath a sub-district called the Pox, old military hospital, right adjacent to the 41st precinct. No storm will ever drown Revachol, the great solution to the riddle of history.
Look at the third map.
The final map displays a labyrinth of service tunnels left over from the construction of Motorway 881. A few routes have been marked with a pen, where the tunnels and sewers surface near the eminent domain and a traffic island in central Jamrock by the lake. These service tunnels were probably used during the construction of the foundation beneath the motorway. Looks like the smugglers have infiltrated the road network belonging to East Motor Tract.
The smugglers have infiltrated the motor tract.
So it would seem.
The lieutenant examines the maps with a furrowed brow.
The RCM patrols most of these auxiliary roads, though apparently not all of them.
Where does the contraband end up?
Hard to say. This distribution network looks certainly large, yet still vague enough. It doesn't reveal much about the Besmerti behind it.
Besmerti, that sounds vaguely familiar.
The Besmerti is a Revacholian crime syndicate. They see themselves as the inheritors of the 14 Revacholian Indo-tribes, but really they're just violent gangs vying for control on the west side of Revachol. With cool names like La Puta Madre and Ahura Mazda, it's a dark parody.
Who do you think is behind this?
It's definitely not the Union. They just do some logistics. This operation has spread everywhere in Jamrock. If it's that widespread, then Madre remains the most likely suspect.
So Evrard wasn't lying?
Here's bad news. There have been attempts at a serious investigation before, but they haven't ended well for those involved.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is a brave man for saying Madre's name without the winces and whispers that usually accompany it.
Return the stack of papers under the seat.
Best not to disturb the scene. I'll have forensics go over the lorry and pick this up later.
The stack of maps looks just like before, barely noticeable. The movie stars look silently by, and the pull-out toolbox has a rubber handle, worn from years of use. You close the rusty... An old monument, a silver plaque, not a good track. As you look up, you notice something about the statue. There are some odd indentations on the king's chess piece.
What indentations? What do I see?
Something with great kinetic energy seems to have impacted the cuirass, around where the heart is. A bullet? Someone shot him in the heart. Interesting.
Lieutenant, has someone shot the king? Point to the indentation.
Okay, I can't see it, but I take your word for it.
What do you think?
Well, Martinez is riddled with bullet holes. This place saw a lot of action during the revolution. But the statue is recently renovated, so maybe a joke? Target practice or a political statement?
Target practice.
Why not? What this shows us is guns aren't too uncommon here, and people still shoot them, sometimes at kings.
The king stands high above you.
Cool. I feel rewarded for clicking on everything, even though I already investigated those objects before, because my new perks are letting me see something new.
Stuck in the rain in a traffic jam, man. What's on your mind? Oh.
Time to relax. He's merely joking.
Can't even get a few jokes past you. They usually get shipped to...
The man.
Kuno, do you have anything new to say to me?
Fuck, does Kuno care? Kuno doesn't...
Nope.
What do you see?
So, our old soul wasn't in the back of the Whirling.
I don't know. They're about the same size. Not the same boat, no, but they could be the same person.
No horizontal footprints. Whoever walked in the Whirling's pinball workshop didn't walk here.
No, these prints are pretty standard. The ones in the dust looked custom. Or maybe they're just a foreign design.
Okay, let's investigate the last place for today. This roof again, just in case. Nothing here. And nothing here. Okay, I'm very tired, so maybe I wasn't commenting enough in this episode. That's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Next episode probably will be a downer too, because I will have to reach the night, steal the boots while Kim is not looking, shower, read all of cases from my ledger. Starts day 5 finally, so hopefully I can do that in one episode, and then we will see how it will go. I will just do things on a whim, just do whatever looks interesting. Yeah, so thanks for watching and goodbye.